As you know, the Bahamas suffered devastation because of Hurricane Dorian. Hope International Missions has our earliest works, which began there in the Bahamas. And we've been working with people who have so kindly and generously donated supplies to be able to take down to the Bahamas. Today, we're here at MFI, got up early this morning, and we're getting ready to load the plane and take the materials down to the Bahamas that have been collected so far. And then throughout the day, we're going to be working with disaster relief and helping to station, place these supplies, and be able to help bring some relief to these people who have had so much devastation in their lives. Let's go load a plane. The DC-3's loaded. We're getting ready to head out, fly in a smaller plane to get there before them into the Bahamas. Let's go. Thank the Lord for a safe flight in. We're just waiting now to get the necessary clearances to be able to start unloading the materials, the supplies off of this flight and start getting to the people that need them. The people of Hope Sound Bible Church and Hope Sound Community rallied together after Hurricane Dorian and brought thousands of pounds worth of supplies to our collection center. In total, almost 10,000 pounds worth of supplies have been flown down here over the last few days, the majority of that being on the MFI flight today. We're here at the Freeport Holiness Church, and as you can see from the surroundings, just utter devastation, flooding, so much destruction, so much chaos. But we're getting ready right now as we're offloading these supplies to begin to package them and distribute them, and looking forward to seeing this being able to be a little bit of a bright spot in a very dark scenario in these people's life, this community's life, here in the next few days. Last little while we've been putting together little food packets, little protein bars or granola bars and maybe a thing of juice or milk, and in each one we're putting in one of the new disaster relief books that have been produced by our Department of Literature Development and Distribution, Gospel Publishing Mission. And this book is all about basically explaining how to survive in a disaster, some tips for survival in the first part of the book, but then it goes into the story of Buried Alive, which is following the Chilean mine disaster that took place a number of years ago. And so as it works through that, at the end it gives a very clear message of salvation, the gospel message. And we're putting one of these in each one of these packages and praying that God will use these to be a blessing in someone's life, and that someone can give their hearts to Christ who don't know Him as a result of these care packages that we're putting together from this church. Well, it's the end of a long day, late at night, and after a whole lot of work trying to get supplies kind of positioned and organized and packed into bags, and now it's time to turn in and get ready for the next day. We were just listening to one of the islanders as they were sharing about just the devastation, 8 foot of water or so in his house, and lost a couple puppies, and just the appliances, the beds, just so many things that will have to be repaired, replaced, basically starting all over again, and how discouraging that is. So we certainly need to keep praying for the Bahamas, keep praying for all these individuals as they rebuild, and keep doing our part to support them. We're going to turn in, get up early in the morning to head out and help at High Rock, where things are even more devastating. We'll hopefully bring some encouragement and help to those people there. Well, it's about 5:30 in the morning, and just a little while ago we were all resting peacefully in our tents, and a little rain came through, a little rain shower came through and got us up. We were wanting to anyway, because we're getting ready to go over and pack the boxes and take the supplies, load them up on the back of the pickup truck, and head on out to High Rock today to hopefully be a blessing out there. So we're gonna go get packing.
Cecil and Iona and anyone else we may come across today. These supplies may strengthen them. Be with all the Bahamas, we pray. Many people hurting, confused, and just in a tough time right now. Minister to them. May the supplies that we brought bring glory and honor to you. We'll be sure to praise you for anything that's accomplished. Amen.
Got the truck loaded. Now we're heading on out to High Rock here bright and early in the morning. Wow, we're here in High Rock in Grand Bahama, and it's just utter, complete devastation. It's just really hard to fathom. To see homes where they're beautiful homes, where their roofs have been blown off, walls have even been caved in, vehicles kind of tossed from one location to another. To hear the stories of utter and complete devastation. Pastor Cecil Kemp and his wife rode out the storm with one of their sons, and to hear him explain what took place in the storm, and not only that, but his intricate involvement here in the community and how he is such an encouragement to the people here. He's staying here to help rebuild, and it's just amazing to see God's grace and strength on display in their lives as they're here in High Rock.
I'm Pastor Cecil Kemp. God has been good to me over the years. I was born and raised here in High Rock. This church was established around 1963, and so I took the work on in 92. This church has been an inspiration to me. I've enjoyed some very precious moments. I have a youth program, and what's so sad about this hurricane is that a little boy by the name of Mari, a young man, his uncle by the name of DJ, 28 years, lost their life in this. We had 17 persons die from this community. It is not easy, but I plan to stay to help build this community back. I want to say to those in the holiness movement, thank you for your prayers. It meant so much to us during this time. It is devastating. People are leaving, they're freaking out, they're scared, and the reason for that, some people lose their houses and their cars are freeze up. All of my cars are freeze up in my yard, my roof is damaged, and my neighbor has lost, one after the other have lost their home, there's no place else. And so thank you all again for what you've done in assisting us, and Harold Martin planned to bring some guys over to help me with my house, and God bless them for doing so. It is not easy on this community. I hurt inside for the people who really are in more desperate need than I am. We're going to rebuild, and we're going to come back in Jesus' name. Amen.
Here we are in High Rock, Grand Bahama at the High Rock Lighthouse Chapel, and obviously Hurricane Dorian paid a visit just a couple weeks ago, and as you can see, things are just totally devastated. This is a very significant work for HIM because it's really our roots. Back in the early 60s, men and women, students from Hopestown Bible College would come out here and hold services, and eventually a church was planted here, and many missionaries served here, such as the Joe Smith family and the Hesters and the Downings and certainly the Weatheralds, certainly many others that I could mention. But as a result of that, this work continues to bear fruit even today. There are 2 students at Hopestown Bible College preparing for ministry. One graduated recently from here, and he's out in Kansas serving the Lord in a Christian school. So from the earliest days, it was known as Bahama Missions, and of course we're Hope International Missions now. We're not exactly sure the future of this work. Obviously a lot of work to be done, but please be in prayers for Pastor Cecil Kemp and his wife and family. We thank God that they were protected during the storm, but in this little community, 17 people were killed. I spoke here 3 weeks ago on a Friday night to 17 youth in this building right here, and 2 of those have gone into eternity. It really sobers us to realize that we don't live for this world, and yet we don't understand what has happened, but we know we serve a good God, and He's going to be faithful to the people here in High Rock, Grand Bahamas.
We're getting ready to head on down the road and see at least one home where, as I understand it, 7 people lost their lives. Maury, the young boy that you heard about, and several others lost their lives in that one house, and then we're heading on back to the Kemp's home. A lot of damage there that needs repaired, but we're trusting God to see us be able to help this community rebuild and to make an impact and a difference here in High Rock. You can see here the road washed out. Kind of did a little bit of a curve here, a bend in the road, and continued on over there. And from what I understand, there were 2 or 3 or 4 big houses in here that are just completely gone, completely wiped out, demolished. Nothing there to be seen except the foundations. Complete and utter devastation.
One of the biggest houses in High Rock, I tell you, one of the biggest houses in High Rock was right here. It was his mom, DJ's mom, Louette, DJ, Mari, their aunt Shirlene, my white best friend, Danita, their cousin with her 2 little boys, twin, 3-year-old, right in this house. This is it. They all died one time, 7 of them. 7.
Standing here in this home, I can't put into words the devastation, the heartbreak. Dishes, different household items. This home completely demolished. And as far as we know, 7 different people lost their lives in this home. 1 or 2 of them were just in a youth meeting that President Martin was in a couple weeks ago. Cecil Kemp's wife, Iona's one of her best friends, lived in this house or was in this house and lost her life here. And the heartbreak is just overwhelming. It's just so hard to imagine and to fully grasp what these people had to go through. we've made the trip back to Freeport from High Rock, and we're getting ready to head back to the airport and fly home. What I can say is that there's so much destruction widespread here on the island of Grand Bahama and in all of the Bahamas. So we're going to head back and continue to pray and raise support, raise funds, and figure out more ways that we can try to bless these people and help them as they work through the rebuilding and recovery process. A lot of things that we're going to look forward to doing in the future, and as you've already helped us, we're going to rely on you to continue to come alongside the people of the Bahamas and help them in their time of need.